Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today. We're starting here with the biggest update that the PlayStation Portal has received thus far. Over on the official PlayStation blog, they say cloud streaming officially arrives on PlayStation Portal today with new support for digital PS5 games in your library. At PlayStation, we're always working to push the boundaries of how players experience games. Since the PlayStation Portal Remote Player first launched back in November 2023, we've continued to evolve the device with updates like enhanced public Wi-Fi support and UX improvements. Last year, we also introduced the Cloud Streaming Beta, which allowed PlayStation Plus Premium members to access select PS5 games from the PlayStation Plus game catalog and Classics catalog via cloud streaming without needing to connect to a PS5 console through Remote Play. Today we're excited to share that PS Portal is receiving one of its biggest updates yet. Starting November 5th, cloud streaming for PS5 games officially launches on PS Portal for PlayStation Plus Premium members, along with a variety of new features that enhance how you can play. So they start here with cloud streaming for PS5 games in your library. PlayStation Plus Premium members can now stream select digital PS5 games from their own library. At launch, thousands of PS5 games support cloud streaming, including blockbusters such as Astro Bot, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Fortnite, Ghost of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Resident Evil 4. In addition, hundreds of compatible games from the PlayStation Plus game catalog and Classics catalog, including Cyberpunk 2077, God of War Ragnarok, Hogwarts Legacy, Sword of the Sea, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, are also streamable directly from the cloud. Now, they do offer a full list of games that will be linked down in the description below, so if you want to look that over, feel free to do so. They continue, cloud streaming unlocks new ways to play. Enjoy a game side by side with a friend who's using your PS5 under a separate account, or stream your favorite game while someone else watches a movie on the console. Cloud streaming also makes it easier to enjoy PS5 games on the go, at a hotel, cafe, friend's place, or anywhere else with a high-speed internet Wi-Fi connection, since you can keep playing even when your PS5 console back home is powered off or is in use by another account. Now, on top of this, they also announced a redesigned UI. They say a refreshed home screen now features 3 tabs: Remote Play, Cloud Streaming, and Search. Remote Play home screen. Connect to a PS5 console paired with the PS Portal to enjoy games installed on that console. A PlayStation Plus membership is not required for Remote Play. Cloud Streaming home screen. A new dedicated home screen for cloud streaming allows PlayStation Plus Premium members to instantly stream a range of compatible PS5 games without waiting for downloads. Search screen. Quickly look up any game that supports cloud streaming. If you don't have the entitlement to stream a game, a QR code will be displayed to direct you to the PlayStation app or a web browser on another device. Now, they say here they're enhancing the gameplay experience. This update also introduces several new features designed to make playing on PlayStation Portal more immersive and convenient. New features for Remote Play and cloud streaming. 3D audio support. 3D audio is now available during Remote Play and cloud streaming on supported games. When using a compatible audio device, immerse yourself in spatial sound with wired headphones or a compatible PlayStation Link wireless audio device such as the Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds or Pulse Elite wireless headset. Passcode lock. Protect your device by setting a passcode on your PlayStation Portal. To set a passcode, go to Settings, under System, and then click Passcode. Network status screen. A stable internet connection is essential to ensure the best experience on PlayStation Portal. You can now quickly check your connection quality with an easy-to-access status view. During cloud streaming or Remote Play, open the Quick menu and go to Troubleshoot under Show Network Status. Continuing, they say in-game store. In-game purchases are now supported during cloud streaming. You can purchase add-on items and in-game currencies without leaving your game session and receive benefits instantly. Just like before, you can also make in-game purchases during a Remote Play session. Accessibility options. Enable new accessibility options during cloud streaming, such as screen reader and adjustable text size. Go to Settings, under Cloud Streaming, and then click Accessibility Settings for cloud streaming. These settings will only apply to select screens during cloud streaming. You can continue to access the PS5 console settings menu to adjust accessibility settings during Remote Play. And then game invitations. receive game invites from friends that are playing the same game during cloud streaming, and join a multiplayer session directly from the quick menu. They conclude here, we're thrilled to bring cloud streaming and these new features to PS Portal, and we can't thank the PlayStation community enough for embracing this device since its launch. Your feedback and enthusiasm continue to shape its evolution. We'll keep working to expand the ways you can enjoy your PS5 library, and we look forward to sharing more updates in the future. So, yeah, this is a massive update for the PlayStation Portal. We did cover a recent leak that seemed to hint that this was coming. I don't think we expected it to be announced the next, day or 2 days later, right? But yeah, the PlayStation Portal is something that seems to get better and better here, and I have no doubt that a lot of what Sony is doing with this device is in preparation for the next native handheld that, as of right now, is rumored to be launching right alongside the PlayStation 6 sometime in 2027. But I have to say, the only thing here that I think some people are going to find disappointing is the fact that in order to stream games from your library to this device through the cloud, you have to be a PlayStation Plus premium subscriber. I think for a lot of people, that's going to be a deal breaker. A lot of people who have the PlayStation Portal, though, already are likely subscribed to PS Plus Premium. But, it is no doubt another benefit that if you choose to, go to the highest tier, that'll be something you can enjoy. And I would say the most interesting aspect of this, generally speaking, kind of zooming out, is the fact that if you want, you can buy a PlayStation Portal, subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium, and then buy certain digital games, and that's it. You don't need a PlayStation 5. Now, I don't know how many people are actually going to do that. It's clear that this device is still kind of meant to be a companion device, more of an accessory, but that option is there, and I find that very interesting because, again, that seems to kind of lean more so in the direction of going into the PlayStation 6. You're not going to get a PlayStation Portal 2. You're going to get a proper native handheld, a proper PlayStation Portable, and that will be an option where if you don't want to buy the home console, you can buy the handheld, and you'll likely have access to the PlayStation Store and also this cloud streaming as well. But we are going to move on to the next topic here. We only have 2 topics for this video. That was the first one. The second one actually seems to be potentially linked to this. We have a report here coming from Push Square. They have an original story and an update, and I'm going to cover both. The original story says a mysterious new cross-buy icon has been data mined on the PS5. The symbol, discovered on the console itself, was first shared by Amethyst on X, who says he believes it has been added since March 2025, while other icons discovered by the user are already in use, such as the Power Saver mode. The cross-buy and PS5/PC logos have never been seen before. They match Sony's overall design language and therefore are legitimate. It remains to be seen how Sony intends to use these symbols, but our best guess is that it's planning to offer cross-buy between PS5 and PC purchases, a little bit like Xbox's own Play Anywhere strategy. Whether this means Sony is also plotting its own PC-based version of the PlayStation Store remains to be seen, although it will be difficult for the company to convince users to move away from Steam. Perhaps it hopes the lure of cross-buy will achieve that. Other theories about the cross-buy icon pertain to Sony's rumored handheld, but we always assumed this would just be a portable SKU capable of playing supported games you already own, so we're not sure why it would need to be labeled as cross-buy per se. But now we're going to go to the updated section of this article, where it says a small update from Dia Labs based on additional investigation confirms the new cross-buy icon is indeed real and was added as recently as June 2025. This is important because it proves it's not legacy code attached to, say, the PS3 and PS Vita, but a new feature that Sony's plotting. It also discovered the cross-buy tag in CSS files, further suggesting something is afoot here. Exactly what the tag will be used for still remains speculation, but it's likely we'll get an update from PlayStation in the not-too-distant future. And so yes, this was making the rounds yesterday on Twitter, and it's kind of a big deal because this seems to directly indicate that Sony is planning something quite significant when it comes to how you purchase games through PS5 and PC. A lot of people are immediately, understandably, jumping to conclusions assuming this means Sony's going day and date with all of their games, but the reality is we don't know what this means. We just know that there's a symbol here that shows Sony is planning something in regards to cross-buy through PC. Something I do want to point out here is try to keep in mind, because I've seen too many people completely disregard this, unfortunately, that a couple of years ago, it was discovered through multiple job listings that Sony was working on their own PC launcher. Now, since then, we haven't heard anything. It's been complete radio silence, but keep in mind that that is something that Sony was thinking about, to the degree where they were hiring people to work on it. So there's a chance that Sony has been quietly working on a PC launcher of their own for multiple years now that they're going to be getting ready to announce, and with that, they will announce PC cross-buy. One final thing I have to mention here, and why I think we need to pay close attention to the idea of a PC launcher, is when we look at the next generation Xbox Magnus, we know that apparently it's going to come equipped with Steam. So with this, it would mean that any game Sony puts on Steam going forward, or any game that's there now and they put there in the future, and anybody who buys this Xbox Magnus device, they will have access to that game. Now, I don't know that Sony cares too much about that, but if they do care, if Sony wants to make it so that, hey, going into next generation, when we have games like, say, Wolverine and Intergalactic eventually making their way to PC, we're actually not going to put them on Steam. We're going to put them on our own PlayStation launcher. This would prevent these games from being accessible on this upcoming Xbox device. But again, it really comes down to how much Sony cares, because what they will be foregoing is the entirety of Steam, which is a very big deal. And we also know that any PC launcher that's been created so far by a publisher has, to put it lightly, not found significant success. So it's highly unlikely that Sony would be anticipating massive success with a PC launcher if that's where they choose to put their games, right? It could just be that they would do this for, like, you know, a timed period where, here's an example, PlayStation PC launcher, let's just say Wolverine, right? Wolverine will launch day one on PlayStation and on PC. However, the only way you can access it on PC is through their PC launcher. 2 years later, here comes the Steam version, right? They could choose to do it that way. It would make sense to a degree if they do it that way, but yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it really comes down to how much Sony wants to kind of retain control over some level of exclusivity for their own storefront and their own ecosystem. That's really what this boils down to, but make no mistake, this is real. This is legitimate. It has been discovered, and I assume we're going to be hearing about it in the not too distant future. But who knows? Maybe Sony could just be kind of like breaking down more barriers, and they're just going to announce this PS5 PC cross-buy situation with Steam and console and, you know, do the whole thing. It's hard to say. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.